Hi, thank you for being here today. I'm Maria Mandarino, spiritual director, licensed acupuncturist, Enneagram practitioner, and certified Bach flower practitioner. And first, I want to apologize for taking a couple of weeks off. It's been a little busy, so yes, I took a little bit of a break. But I am going to be continuing this episode and the next episode. I'm going to be finishing up the Patterns of Truth series that began a couple of months ago, probably, about the similarities and the ways we can use the Bach flower remedies to harmonize Enneagram types. This is not commonly done work, but I am trained in both areas, and there's definitely a connection between using the flower remedies, which is energy medicine, essentially, similar to homeopathy. And there's patterns of behavior between Enneagram types and the flower remedies. So that's part of my work. So before we take off with that today, I want to again thank you for being here. I made just a quick announcement. I've made a temporary decision about the course based on feedback, non-feedback. I'm going to put a hold on it. And I'm kind of circling back around that probably over the next couple of months to make a final decision of what I'm going to do. In the meantime, there's going to be a special offer coming up in December to work with me privately. Once I have that set up, I'll be speaking about that here, but there will be a special offer again to work with me privately, doing Enneagram work, spiritual direction, possibly Bach flower remedies, if that's something that we get feedback about here. So be on the lookout for that. And what else do I have here? Oh, in the new year, there will be other ways to work with me, more one-on-one, because that's kind of the feedback that I've gotten from some people, is that they'd rather do more direct work than just take a class that's an online class that's self-directed, as opposed to, working one-on-one. So there'll be opportunities for that, a couple of creative opportunities in the new year. Just give me some time. Again, if you've listened to prior episodes, I'm chief cook and bottle washer here. So yeah, it might take a little bit, but that'll be coming in the new year for sure. If you haven't already, please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment. All your efforts are really helping to move the channel along and help the algorithm. So I really do appreciate that. So if you haven't already, please do that. So today we are going to take a quick look at kind of a recap, basically, of Enneagram Type 3 and a flower essence that I've mentioned previously about a different Enneagram type, which is Agrimony. So some of the flowers, most of the flowers probably, can be used for more than one type, but we definitely see like this pattern evolving. So type 3 and Agrimony have some very similar qualities. So a type 3 who is a little bit out of balance might take a look at Agrimony and see if it fits the shadow parts of their type 3, and if it can help harmonize some of that. So again, for a recap of type 3 in their higher expression. So first of all, type 3 is called the performer, the actor, sometimes called the chameleon, because they're really good at adapting. Okay, they seek to find love and recognition, approval, by adapting to whatever they think you want them to be. Hence, we call them the actor, the performer, the chameleon. Okay. They can hold a lot of stress in their lower expression as a result of that. So let's look at the higher expression first. So a good, balanced type 3, capable leaders. They're enthusiastic leaders as well. One of the things I love about a healthy 3 and being around a healthy 3 is that they inspire other people, and they do it with the vibe of winning is fun. Let's win together. Winning is fun. Come on, you can do this. We can do this. And they just kind of sweep you up, and they inspire you to believe that there's nothing that you can't do. And that's just, they have a real winning attitude about life. So again, this is in the higher expression. They're very motivational people, and they are authentic. authentic, sorry. They are authentic, and they put a high value on authenticity. So it's, if you ask them how important is it for somebody to be authentic in your life, they'll say, oh, very, and we all value authenticity, but threes value it in almost a holy way. Okay. So an unhealthy Enneagram 3, they're going to present in a very different way. They're going to seek validation. So the how am I doing question might be voiced more than once. They'll also be very competitive. And it's like an unhealthy competition. These are the people that don't like to rest. They'll keep pushing, to end up even injured, pushed past, they don't rest out an injury. They'll push through an injury, potentially making things worse. Competition and winning is everything to them, and it's at an unhealthy level. Fake it till you make it is a very acceptable phrase to an unhealthy 3. The other one is win at all costs. Lower expression 3s will obsess over status. They will obsess over things like dressing for success. It's all about image. You got to look good. You can't win if you don't look good. It's not about having the stuff that you need to win. It's you got to look like you can win. So that matters to an unhealthy 3. They're vain. They're one of the words we put on an unhealthy 3 is deceit, because it's all smoke and mirrors. All looks good, but under it, so when you start peeling back some layers, there's nothing good going on. Rather than being human beings, your unhealthy 3 is a human doing. They don't sleep, they don't rest, they don't take time out for themselves. They just keep going and going and going. And the reason is their programming tells them that success is the only route to love, approval, and recognition. And so for the unhealthy 3, failure is not an option. So Agrimony is one of the flower essences. It's certainly not the only one. We could probably put a formula together for a 3. Formulas usually have 7 remedies in one bottle. So Agrimony falls into the oversensitivity category in the flower remedies, which for our purposes here with the Enneagram, I'm just going to say that has to do with feelings. They're focused on feelings. So we know that the 3 is a heart type, right? So we don't really divide the remedies into heart, mind, and body. But Agrimony, I would say, has the vibrational quality of the heart triad, okay? Which means it could be used with 2s and 4s as well. But so for our purposes today, and it's not only used for heart types, so I don't want to put that in your mind either, but it's going to rise to the top for those people first, because it's certainly used with the body and the mind types as well. So Agrimony is for people who hide their problems behind a cheerful face. So because the 3 is so focused on winning and looking good, the cheerful face is where it's at for the unhealthy 3, right? That's you put on your game face, right? And you hide any problems, any injuries, any aches, any pains, that Achilles tendon that's bothering you. You don't let anybody see that, So Agrimony is for the person who hides the problems behind the cheerful face. So that can definitely be an unhealthy 3. Agrimony is for the person who avoids pain and instead chooses to be agreeable. So that's a similar kind of a statement. And the point here is that this really looks like adapting, and this really looks like chameleon type behavior. So rather than be uncomfortable, I am going to look like something else is going on. I'm going to adapt. I'm going to be a chameleon. I'm going to figure out what you want me to be and what you want me to look like. and I'll do that. So that's that being agreeable. It's that adaptability. It's that vibrational similarity between the unhealthy 3 and the agrimony type. So in agrimony, we would say it's the person who's trying to be agreeable to avoid pain. With the type 3, it's the person who's being the chameleon, who's trying to figure out what you want them to be, and they'll be that even if it's not who they are. So kind of similar. Agrimony types tend to be carefree and funny, even though deep down their heart is usually struggling. There's sadness, and there's some level of struggle, and this belief that no one's going to want to hear that, so let me put on my happy face. So 3s certainly do that. Unhealthy 3s will do that, which is why we call them the actor. Agrimony types don't express real feelings and fears. They will make light of difficulties. They'll kind of joke about difficulties. They'll be a little self-deprecating sometimes. These are really likable people to be around because they're trying their best to not bring you down, and not let you know that they're having a hard time with anything. As a result of all of this kind of game face, don't let them see you sweat kind of thing. Don't let people know that you're struggling. Oftentimes they can find it hard to sleep because they're not really, they're not leaning into the fullness of who they are in their day-to-day life. They're holding back the hard stuff. They're not sharing the hard stuff. They're afraid to share the hard stuff. So they kind of hide from it, and as I said, they put on the game face, just like that unhealthy 3. Okay, so just because they're not showing it during the daytime hours doesn't mean they're not processing it, and they tend to be restless sleepers. We tend to think of sleep as being associated with white chestnut, which has to do with repeated mental thoughts, kind of like that tape recorder that keeps playing in your head. This isn't quite that. But that could come into a formula for somebody who is just repeating thoughts, the same thoughts over and over, and it's not letting them sleep. But this is more because they can't really be who they are and let you see their pain, and instead they put on this cheerful face. They're still feeling. So they tend to do it, quote, after hours, right? And that tends to affect their ability to rest. Agrimony will hide through distractions, and they will suppress their feelings. However, important to know, and this is so much like the 3, just because they're hiding those feelings, just because they're suppressing those feelings, it doesn't mean that they're not deep feelers. They actually are deep feelers. So when we harmonize the person who needs agrimony by giving them the remedy, there's a cheerfulness, which they're cheerful people to start with, but the cheerfulness comes from self-acceptance and an inner joy with what is. So it's not like this artificial, put on the sunny face. It's an authentic cheerfulness. And remember, authenticity is important to the 3, right? So that's kind of energetically similar as well. So there's this cheerfulness that comes from self-acceptance and inner joy. They also have an ability to accept the less pleasant parts of life instead of just putting on the happy face. They're more real with it. They're more real with whatever's going on, and willing to face, not just in the off hours when no one is looking, but to just face the unpleasant parts of life and accept them instead of trying to figure out what the adaptation should look like. Again, now we're looking at it from the 3. Instead of figuring out how do I make myself fit into this situation so I'm accepted? How do I meet someone else's needs by being what I think they want me to be, rather than having that mental thought going on, which drains people of their energy? They can move into a space of just accepting what is, even if it's an unpleasant part of life. So I'm going to leave you with 3 journal questions for this one, if you lead with type 3. Question number 1, and these will be in the show notes like I've been doing. When I put on my can-do face, or sorry, take that back. When I put on my can-do hat, how am I hiding myself from others? When I put on my can-do hat, how am I hiding myself from others? You can also, in place of hiding, use the word withholding. How am I withholding myself from others? Journal question number 2. When I put on my can-do hat, what am I losing from my relationships? Question 2. When I put on my can-do hat, what am I losing from my relationships? And then the third and final question for type 3 is one of my favorites, by the way. What if I was loved for who I am and not for what I do? I'll give you that one again. What if I were loved for who I am and not for what I do? So that is a quick overview of type 3, the higher and lower expressions and how that merges into the Agrimony flower essence. If you would like to explore some of this work with me, I do this work online. I do it with the Enneagram and with the flower remedies, or just the Enneagram, or just the flower remedies, however you want to do it. And that's, you can find that on my website, mariamandarino.com. Or you can, I also do a brief of 15-minute complimentary discovery call, so we can first see if we would be a good fit to work together. As far as the remedies, how that works with the formulas, we have the consult online, takes about an hour depending on what's going on. May schedule a longer session if it's more complex, and then I ship the formula if you're not local, so most of you are not. So and I guess I should say that that is only an option for people who are within the US. There are other ways to get around that if you're outside of the US. So we can chat about that. If you're interested, just reach out. And please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. I do appreciate that. And this should be airing during Thanksgiving week. So I wish you all who are in the States, I wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. And I will see you next week. Thanks for being here. Bye.